Hello, everyone. We are so excited to be with you today and tell you a little bit about the Greek life community at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. So I am Melissa, and our other friend today is Asia.
Hi, everyone. My name is Asia Woods. I am one of the assistant directors in the office, along with my lovely counterpart, Melissa, and we do some great work in our office.
Awesome. So this is the other part of our staff here. So Asia and I are in that top left corner, and then below us we have Michelle, who is the director of Fraternity and Sorority Life, and Bonnie, who is the associate director of Fraternity and Sorority Life. So when we talk about fraternity and sorority life and chapters and sororities and fraternities, really what they are at their core is organizations. They are organizations of people that share values and friendships and have a unique bond of certain ideals within which they have formed these chapters or sororities or fraternities.
So if we talk about our community, what it looks like. So we have 5 different councils, 45 organizations, 2,000 students. A lot of numbers, a lot of words, and you're probably like, what is going on? What is this? We're going to break it down for you, so don't worry. But know that this is kind of like the breakdown of what our community looks like. So within these 5 governing councils, you remember I said those 45 different organizations, they are all broken down into 5 different councils. And these councils provide governance for them, and they kind of are broken up in how they were founded, or maybe their specific interests and things like that. So we have the Diversified Greek Council, also known as DGC. We have the Independent Greek Council, IGC, the Interfraternity Council, IFC, NPHC is the National Panhellenic Council, and then we have PHA, which is our Panhellenic Association. A lot of words, but don't worry, we're going to talk to you about what each of those mean.
Absolutely. So the first one that Asia mentioned was the Diversified Greek Council. A lot of times you'll hear students talk about it as DGC. These are the organizations that are currently members of the Diversified Greek Council. And a little bit more about DGC. What is DGC? What do they stand for? Maybe even, is this something that would be right for you or that you could see yourself joining? So the Diversified Greek Council has something called the DGC Picnic every year. It normally occurs during September or October, and this is a really great chance to get to meet members from the Diversified Greek Council. An important thing to note is that the Diversified Greek Councils has both fraternities and sororities. Not all of our councils do. So that means that they accept both members of, women's organizations and men's organizations. These are our culturally based organizations. If you are familiar with other organizations, other councils maybe, you may have heard of NALFO, NAPA, or the Multicultural Greek Council. And essentially, our DGC has members from each of those other councils and made their own Diversified Greek Council here at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. They value scholarship, unity, leadership, and community service. And they aim to celebrate and bring awareness to organizations' cultures, and they emphasize empowerment.
So now we're going to talk about IGC, and this is our Independent Greek Council. This council is for organizations that have very specific interests. So as I go through them, I'll talk about which each interest is for each organization. So we have Alpha Gamma Omega, which is our Christian-based fraternity. And we also have their sister organization here called Sigma Alpha Omega. And these both, again, are faith-based, Christian-based organizations. A little fun fact is most of organizations have started off with some sort of faith in their founding. And they've kind of moved and evolved a little bit to more social or academic in nature. whereas Alpha Gamma Omega and Sigma Alpha Omega both make sure that all of their programming and events and when they do stuff internally all kind of ties directly back to their Christian faith. And so that's that organization. We also have Alpha Omega Epsilon, which is a STEM-based sorority. So if you are a woman who is majoring in any science, technology, engineering, or mathematics type of majors, then that is a really great opportunity for you to connect with women who are in that same male-dominated field with you, right? Someone you can talk to and have those conversations with about your experience. And then we have Phi Mu Alpha Symphonia, and we also have Sigma Alpha Iota. And I put those two together because they're brother and sister organizations as well. They are music interest organizations. So you do not have to be in the band to join those organizations, but you do need to be a lover of music to join those organizations. So some things to know about IGC. These are independent organizations, and why we say that is because they don't belong to a national umbrella group. All of our organizations belong to some national body, and these organizations don't, right? They stand on their own as individual organizations nationally. Again, they're special interests, and they value friendship, honor, mutual respect, and diversity.
The next council that we're going to chat about today is the Interfraternity Council, also known as IFC. So when you think of IFC, these are some of our largest and oldest men's organizations on campus. You can see all of the organizations that we have here at UNC Charlotte on your screen. And then a little bit to know about IFC. A lot of information about these organizations and their rush process can be gotten from the IFC Showcase. This typically occurs right before rush, which is when new members are brought into their organization. And that will allow you to meet different organizations, talk with the brothers, learn more about what their organizations stand for and what their values are. Things are a little bit different this year, so your best opportunity to gain more information is to either visit the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life's website, or to follow us on social media, or to follow IFC directly on social media. Again, these are some of the oldest men's organizations on campus. Of the organizations on campus currently, Kappa Sigma and Chi Phi are our oldest. They value leadership, service, brotherhood, and scholarship.
And then we have the NPHC, also known as the National Panhellenic Council, or you might have heard it colloquially called the Divine Nine. So across the country, or nationally, I should say, there are 9 organizations that fall under this council in a national stance, right? Here we have 7 of those organizations on this campus. Some things that are important to know about NPHC is that they are historically Black American or African American organizations. That does not mean that you have to be someone who identifies as Black to join their organization. But what it does mean is that they have specific interests in uplifting the African American community. So that means that all of their community service, their philanthropy, most of their programs are going to be to give back to the community, whether that's the Charlotte campus community, Charlotte as in the city, maybe it's a North Carolina thing, they're always going to be tying that back. All of those organizations are incorporated, and it is super important when we say that, that we say their full name and we say that incorporation, because it ties back to the history of the organizations, and it ties back to why they were kind of started to begin with. And then their values is that where there is unity, there is strength for NPHC.
Awesome. And then our last council here at UNC Charlotte is the Panhellenic Association, often referred to as PHA. We have 8 Panhellenic organizations here on our campus. And things to know about PHA or Panhellenic. So Panhellenic is a little bit different than some of our other councils in that they have formal recruitment every fall. Some of our other councils allow their chapters to recruit independently. But for Panhellenic, it is one large event that all takes place at one time over one weekend. This year, it is September 18th through the 21st. So if you haven't signed up, this would be a great opportunity to do so. They also have a philanthropy. Each organization has their own philanthropy, but Panhellenic as a whole council also has a philanthropy, and that is Circle of Sisterhood. And actually in May 2021, our Panhellenic, in collaboration with Western Kentucky University, will be building a school in Malawi. So they are very excited about that. The organizations in Panhellenic are some of our largest chapter sizes. For our women, the average chapter size is about 100 members. And the values of the Panhellenic Association are friendship, leadership, service, knowledge, integrity, and community.
TOLO. So we offer a senior transition program called TOLOS, and that is the Greek word for infinity. And so we use that to say that the things that you're learning here can be used forever, right? The things that you're learning here transition into the quote unquote real world. And so what we do is, this is an opportunity for graduating seniors who are Greek to go through a program where they learn how to adult, right? So we have really cool workshops like how to negotiate your salary, or how to eat healthy on a budget, how to use your Greek experience and brand it in an interview. So we do things like that to really kind of help our seniors make sure that they transition into life after college and go into the workforce with a little bit of a heads up. So if you are a senior and you are Greek and you decide to sign up for TOLOS, you have to complete 8 credits. So that means you go to 8 different workshops if you graduate in the spring. Now, if you're graduating in the fall and that semester when we start TOLOS, then you only have to do 4 credits. But students get a cord at graduation. Everybody loves a cord. So we give out cords for students at graduation, and it's a really good honor to see that you really kind of put forth an effort to be ahead of the curve once you graduate.
Absolutely, everybody loves a cord. Another program that you have the opportunity to participate in if you are a member of our Greek community is something called the Greek Live program, and that is Leaders in Violence Education. So essentially, this is an 8-week training program that members of our community can take, and they can learn how to be a force of positivity, a resource, a point of education to teach others about interpersonal violence. So during this 8-week program, our participants have the opportunity to learn about interpersonal violence, environmental factors, bystander intervention, resources both at the university level and at the community level, and how to understand emotional trauma if they are trying to support or be there for a brother or sister who has gone through an experience with interpersonal violence.
And then we have Order of Omega. This is an honor society for Greek members, and it is honoring people who have great grades. So you have to have a minimum of a 3.0 to join Order of Omega, and you have to be a junior or a senior, and then you also have to be Greek. And so we take the top 3%. So it's the minimum is a 3.0, but we look at our entire Greek community, which is typically around 2,000 students, and then we take the top 3% of that, and that's how many that we initiate for the entire year. So for example, this past year we had 54 was our top 3%. So we broke that in half and did 27 in the fall, and then we had 27 initiates in the spring. And so this is another thing where you get an honors cord, you get a pin, and you get a certificate. This is a nationally recognized honors group. And so people from all over the country are part of Order of Omega. I myself am also an initiate of Order of Omega, and I was initiated when I was an undergrad as well for my academic achievements. So it is something that people look forward to applying to. It is super selective. Sometimes people apply both years, their junior year and their senior year. And sometimes they apply in multiple semesters because they want to get that distinction as a top 3% of the Greek community.
We also host a National Hazing Prevention Week here at UNC Charlotte. National Hazing Prevention Week is recognized all over the country as a stance against hazing and an opportunity to educate the Greek community about hazing. So it often involves tabling, banner signing, participating in different events and educational activities that our organizations on campus here can get credit for. really the goal is to raise awareness and educate our members. So if something ever happens, they know how to take a stance against it. So again, we have speakers, workshops, and programs all throughout the week. And that's really just another opportunity to provide education for our community.
And then we also have scholarship roundtables. So this is a chapter requested program, and they are academically based. So there are different topics. We have topics about test anxiety, time management, motivation, academic planning, and all those types of things. And it's really, again, to help our Greek members stay ahead, making sure that they have the right resources for academics, because it's a lot to be a member of a fraternity or sorority. So we want to make sure that we're giving them these resources so that way they can stay on top of their academics.
Okay, so other programs and initiatives, we have thrown a lot of information at you today, but these are just a few of our other favorite programs, initiatives, things to look forward to from Greek life that are coming out in the near future. We love to eat in our office in Greek life in general, and a lot of times we do that to build community and to fellowship with one another. So some of the programs and initiatives that we have are Wings and Things and Cereal Bar, where we come together, we eat. Cereal Bar is our Halloween celebration. We all dress up in our office and eat tons of cereal. Again, things might look a little bit different this year, but we are so excited to get back to that in the future when everything is safe and everyone is healthy and we are good to go. Other things that we didn't talk about that I can't believe we didn't talk about are things like Greek Weekend, when our community comes together. Air Band, it is like a giant Broadway musical. If you have not seen Air Band, you should absolutely YouTube it for sure. NPHC also does some really fun and awesome activities, right, Asia?
Yeah, absolutely. So NPHC hosts a yard show. And if you don't know what a yard show is, think of like Stomp the Yard, but in real life, right? And so it's a bunch of people that come out. It is blazing hot outside that day. And our NPHC, all of our organizations participate, and they come out and they show you who runs the yard. And when I say that, I really mean like who's the best on campus, who has the best moves and things like that. So they are strolling and they are dancing and they are stepping, and they are really kind of showing you their NPHC culture, because it is an entire culture to be a part of that council. And then NPHC also hosts every fall a stroll competition that happens during homecoming. It is a huge event during homecoming. We have 1,000 people that come out, and I'm not exaggerating. It's literally 1,000 people that are there. And again, NPHC has the opportunity to showcase themselves and show you who has the best moves and things like that. Those things are going to be looking a little bit different this year. So we are still going to be keeping you engaged with NPHC. It's just going to be a little bit different, but we are still going to be showing you who runs the yard and things like that. And then we also have Level Up. So that's a new program that's piloting this fall. It is going to be a 4-week virtual cohort style program around diversity, inclusion, and equity. And so we will be having conversations every week where we come together and we sit down and we talk about these things that are uncomfortable, right? And sometimes they're hard to have these conversations about, but it is super important for our leaders, our Greek leaders, to understand what it means to be diverse. And then what does it mean to be inclusive of that diversity? And then what does it mean to be equitable, right? All of those different words, we hear them a lot, but what do they actually mean? So we're gonna be exploring that this semester and having some really cool conversations. And then the hope is the world will be back together in one piece, and we can have the full 9-week program launching next fall where we're face-to-face and we can have these conversations again on a bigger and better scale. And then also, we always are here to support anyone, whether that is our own community within Greek life, or if you're someone who's interested, or you're someone who's just like, hey, I really think Asia and Melissa are cool. I want to come to their office. You can do that. We're always here to support. Again, our support looks a little bit differently this year. We're keeping our support at a little bit of a distance, but we can still be contacted. We can still have meetings, and we can still email and all of those things.
Awesome. Well, everyone, that is all that we have for you today. I hope that you learned something new. If you have any questions for me or for Asia, the best way to get in contact with our office is to go ahead and email us. Our email is greeklife@uncc.edu, and we are happy to answer any questions that you might have. So thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Bye.